Hey guys, what is going on? Lego Man 123 and welcome back to another video where today I'll be re-ranking every Lego Ninjago season. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we have the pilot episodes and I'm going to put that straight into perfect because not only did it perfectly introduce the characters, world and themes of Ninjago, but without it we wouldn't have gotten any of the other seasons, and that's why I think it deserves to be put in perfect. Then we have season 1, and I'm going to put that in perfect as well because not only did it continue to perfectly introduce audiences to the characters, the world, and themes, but it also continued to add character development and also expand upon the world and themes of Ninjago by introducing more characters. Then we have season 2, and I'm going to put this one in amazing because personally I think it went on a little too long. I feel like if they didn't have as many episodes, it would be imperfect, but it did continue the incredible amount of world building and it did expand upon the characters as well. And I also love how they introduced a new setting because for the first 2 seasons of Ninjago, we were mainly in the world of Ninjago. We didn't really go elsewhere until season 2, which was the Dark Island, where we got introduced to even more world building, characters, and a whole heap of lore. And this was the first time as well we really got to see the Overlord. Then we have season 3, and I'm going to put this one in amazing because it only had 8 episodes, and I definitely think it could have had more to further develop and expand upon the story. But I did love the AI aspect it introduced and how it could be corrupted and used against humanity. And I also loved how well written Zane's sacrifice was and how it impacted everybody in their own way. Then we have season 4, the Tournament of Elements, and I'm going to put this one in perfect because it just did everything incredibly well by introducing more elemental masters. The tournament itself was also well written and incredibly well done, and it expanded upon even more lore about Ninjago's past, as well as introducing a formidable foe in Chen and Garmadon's sacrifice with that soundtrack as well at the end of season 4 was just perfect, and it just fitted so well with his character at that time as well. Then we have season 5, Possession, and I'm going to put this one in amazing. I only recently rewatched this season and I forgot just how dark it was, especially with the whole ghost aspect and how you actually see Moro's dead body. Some of my favorite aspects though about this season was how well written Wu's past was, because throughout the season you see just how much he regrets training Moro and making him believe that he was the Green Ninja. And you honestly sympathize for Moro because he was brought up to think that he was the Green Ninja, and then to have that suddenly taken away from you, you would definitely snap and you would definitely change as a result of that. Then we have season 6 of Ninjago Skybound, and I'm going to put this in good because although this season had the ninja turn from heroes to criminals and a well-written love story between Jay and Nia, I definitely think it could have expanded upon Nardakan and his crew a little bit more because they were briefly mentioned as being formidable foes in Ninjago's past, but we really don't get to see that. But we do get to see them become formidable foes in the present day Ninjago. But it would have been really nice to see just how dangerous they were in Ninjago's past, as not only would it expand upon their legacy, but it would also expand upon the world building of Ninjago. Then we have Lego Ninjago Day of Departed, and I'm going to put this in good because I only recently watched this for the first time and I actually really liked it, and I thought how they reintroduced the old foes of Ninjago worked really well, and the whole aspect of Cole trying to find his identity as a ghost and later becoming a human again was well written, and I just think it worked really well. Then we have season 7, The Hands of Time, and I'm going to put this one in good because although it did an incredible job at continuing to expand upon Ninjago's past with having Wu and Garmadon face the Hands of Time and introducing Kai and Nia's parents, I definitely think it fell flat with having the snakes introduced as the henchmen for the Hands of Time because by this point I was just sick of seeing snakes, and I definitely think, especially with them being able to control time, they could have chosen a bit more of a better army. Then we have season 8, The Sons of Garmadon, and I'm going to put this one straight in to perfect because what I love most about this season is by this point just how mature, dark, and honestly incredibly well written it got, and I just thought it had an incredible amount of character development and just everything about it was perfect, and this is probably one of my favorite seasons. Then we have season 9, Hunted, and I'm going to put this one in amazing because although it continued the incredible amount of storytelling, character development, and well written scenes, and also continued the dark and mature themes as well, it fell flat in my opinion with the Oni and Dragon Realm aspects of this season because Iron Baron, he was definitely a very mysterious character, and I would have loved to see more about his backstory, and I was really hoping we would, but it was a shame we didn't because he is such, honestly, a sinister and very dark character, and it would have been really nice to see more of his character. Then we have season 10 of Ninjago, The March of the Oni, and I'm going to put this one in good because I was honestly disappointed in this season because the Oni were introduced as being more evil than the Overlord, the bringers of death and destruction, but it just ended too quickly. Like, with stakes this high, I would have definitely further developed the story instead of it only being, I think, 5 episodes because it just ended way too quickly and it just fell flat in my opinion. Then we have the fire chapter of season 11, and I'm going to put this one in alright because although it had some moments I really enjoyed, if you do compare it though to the other seasons, it definitely does fall flat, and I think that's because at this time Ninjago had swapped companies, and this season was a way to reintroduce Ninjago to a new audience, but also finding a way to satisfy the current audience. Then we have the Ice chapter for season 11, and I'm going to put this one in good because when comparing it to the Fire chapter, I would definitely consider this season to be a lot more better, not only in storytelling but also the emotional stakes as well, especially when it is revealed that Zane is the Ice Emperor. Then we have Prime Empire, and I'm going to put this above the 2 previous seasons and into amazing because not only did it further improve the storytelling and emotional stakes, but some of my favorite aspects about this season was the storytelling, the character development, as well as the shift in setting. Rather than it being just focused in Ninjago, this season took us into the world of Prime Empire, which was filled with its own new batch of characters, its own rules, and its own lore. And I just thought that was really cool because, like the ninja, we're being introduced to this world for the first time as well. As for the villain, that being Unagami, he is definitely one of my favorite villains within this era of Ninjago because not only was he incredibly well written, but he was also very complex and emotionally driven as well. Then we have Master of the Mountain, and what a season this was because not only did it handle the sensitive topic of Cole's mother incredibly well, but it also had so much emotion and drive put into it as well. And seeing it through the perspective of Cole was definitely a crucial part, and I don't think it could have happened any other way. And this season definitely did leave a lasting impact, so that's why I'm gonna put it in amazing. And not only did this season further expand upon its lore by focusing on Cole's mother and her legacy, but it also expanded upon its world building by introducing a whole new wave of characters. However, as for the villain, although he was very mysterious and quite intriguing, I just wish we got a little more backstory because he definitely fell flat in my opinion. Then we have the island, and although I love the premise of this season and having not only the ninja but the audience being introduced to this new environment for the first time, filled with its own lore, culture, and customs, it definitely fell flat with the amount of episodes because they definitely, by having more episodes dedicated to this season, could have expanded upon the world, the lore, and also further improved the plot because it definitely was a very quick reveal and quite disappointing as well. And by having more episodes, they could have definitely had a better villain. So for those reasons, I'll be putting it in alright. As for the next season, that being Seabound, I'm going to put this one straight into amazing because not only was it incredibly well written, but it also handled Nia's sacrifice incredibly well, and that was definitely filled with a lot of emotion and definitely executed incredibly well. But this season, especially compared to the previous seasons within this era of Ninjago, was definitely filled with high stakes, and you definitely worried for the ninja if they were actually going to pull through this time. Then we have Crystallize, which in my opinion has one of the best openings, as instead of jumping ahead of time and forgetting about Nia's sacrifice, we actually get to see all the ninjas' mental state and them gripping with the fact that Nia is now gone. And although her resurrection was somewhat cliche, I don't think they could have done a better job. Some of my favorite aspects about this season, though, was them reintroducing past villains and them being part of a almost secret society type organization, and the crystal aspect and their designs was definitely really cool as well, and it was a very unique twist. And the Overlord being the main villain for the season was something I was definitely not expecting, and it worked incredibly well, especially the final battle, as it was definitely one of my favorite ones. I also loved how well written Lloyd's character development was throughout this season, as we learn for him to defeat the Overlord, he has to become like his father. And seeing this type of mental state and Lloyd gripping with the fact that he has to become like his father in a kids show was definitely something I was not expecting. And in my opinion, this season also acted as a legacy type season for Ninjago as well. So for those reasons, I'll be putting it in amazing. Then we have Dragons Rising Part 1, and I'll admit, I honestly really enjoyed this season as it felt they were introducing Ninjago to a new audience, as it had a new wave of main characters, a new setting or a whole bunch of new settings and new plots. But I think by introducing that much, a lot of aspects fell flat in my opinion, especially when you compare it to the other seasons of Ninjago that did a better job at character development, world building, and its overarching plot. And unlike the other seasons, Dragons Rising Part 1 had a lot of unanswered questions that I really hope get answered. So for those reasons, I'll be putting it in good. And finally, we have Dragons Rising Part 2, which at the moment is my favorite part because not only was it a lot more simpler in its storytelling, in introducing new characters, plots, and settings, but by reintroducing the tournament aspect, it was definitely a lot more intriguing to watch. And that's why I think part 2 works a little more better when comparing it to part 1 because it takes a concept that everybody loves, that being the tournament of elements, and reintroduces it whilst also having its own unique twist. However, this season also did include several unanswered questions that I really hope do get answered, but this season still does deserve to be put in amazing. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video as much as I did making it because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions on each of the LEGO Ninjago seasons, and I would definitely love to hear what you have to say down in the comments below. But as always guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and again this is Goodbye!